everybody, I am Mrs Malone and I am going to be the Explorer class teacher in September. So I wanted to make a video to say hello and to meet you all. Now normally I would get to meet you this side of the summer. This year we're having to do things slightly differently. So I thought I would introduce myself to you so you could see who I was and find out a little bit about me, and also introduce you to some things that I would like you to do ready for September. So this here is my shoebox, and I would also like you over the summer to find a box, it doesn't have to be a shoebox, and fill it with things that I could learn about you with. So I've got my things I'm going to share with you in a moment. Now I've been a little bit boring and my box is very plain, but you might want to decorate your box with other things that might tell me something about you, like your favourite colours or your favourite things. So let me show you some of the things in my box. First up, a book, because I absolutely love to read. It's my favourite thing to do. I like to read to relax, and I like to read to learn, to find out new things. And I'm really looking forward to this year reading so many stories with you. So hopefully you like to hear stories, because I absolutely love to read stories. Something else in my box is a mug, because I absolutely love tea. Drinking tea with a book is probably one of my favourite things to do, especially if you add in some chocolate. Now this chocolate's been half eaten, because that's one of my favourite things to eat as a treat. I also have a photo in my box, and this is a photo of my two children. So I've got a little girl called Isla, who actually comes to Leavesden Green. She's going to be in year 3 next year, and a little boy called Finn, who's there. And then all these other lovely children are my nieces and nephews, because one of the things that's very important to me is my family. I've got 3 brothers, so we're quite a big family, and I love to spend time with my family, and they are very, very important to me. So that is a photo of my children and my nieces and nephews on a day out at Dinosaur World for Finn's birthday. And linked to that, I've got a welly, not my welly, it's one of Finn's, because one of the other things that I absolutely love is to go on welly walks. And to put on my wellies, whether it's sunny or rainy, and just go exploring. And we love to go to the woods, and we like to drive places. We love being outdoors. That's something that's very important to me. Now, the last thing in my box is very special to me for a couple of reasons. First of all, for what it says, but also because this was a present that I got given by a parent of a class that I taught. And it is actually my favourite quote that I'd shared with the class, to say that these are the 2 things that I think are really important. And in our family, we say this is our special phrase. So we say that we need to have courage, which means be brave, and be kind, because kindness, I think, is one of the most important things in the world, especially when you're facing something new. It's nice to know that you need to be brave, but also there's going to be lots of kindness for you too. So that was my shoebox full of things about me. And now I challenge you to come up with your shoebox of things full of things to do with you. And what we're going to do is bring them into school with us when we start school in September. And then we're going to share them just like I shared. And that means I can learn about you, but also so can all of your new friends who are waiting to meet you too. Now, I've got a lot of work to do over the summer, because I need to get ready to be your teacher. I need to make sure I've planned all of the fantastic learning, get the classroom ready. I have got so many jobs to do so that I'm ready to be the best teacher I can be in September for you. And I had a few suggestions about things that you could do over the summer to get yourself ready to be an amazing member of Adventure Class. So I'm just going to show you some ideas that you could do to get yourselves ready. And here they are. So the first thing is get to know your name. Now, I'm sure you know what your name is, but also get to know what your name looks like, because one of the things that we'll be doing in September is showing you your name, so you know where to hang things, and it would be really helpful if you could recognise the letters and be able to read your name. Also, try and make sure whenever you're writing or reading your name that your name has got a nice big capital letter and that all the other letters are lowercase. Don't write names in capitals because it's important we can see the difference between capital letters and small letters. Now, there's lots of clothes that you can see on the screen, and that represents getting dressed. You are going to be wearing your fantastic new school uniform, which I cannot wait to see you in. And it would be brilliant if you could practice as much as you can getting yourself dressed, even if it is just every day. It doesn't have to be getting dressed in your uniform to start with. It could just be do as much of getting dressed as you can. We're our grown-ups to help you, and we encourage in school, do everything you can do, and then we will step in and help with the bits that you might find especially tricky. Now, from my experience, these tend to be getting on and off jumpers and buttons and shoes. I would highly recommend Velcro shoes because if your child can't tie their laces, they're going to find it tricky or have to keep waiting for an adult to come and do it for them. So my advice would be Velcro shoes and just practice. It could be that you give them their clothes every day and they have a go at putting as much of them on as possible. And we will end up with things back to front. That happens, but that's just learning. And we can say, you've done it. We will just celebrate the fact that they managed to get the clothes on. And then help them, like I said, if needed. We're not going to leave anybody standing not dressed. You can see the shoebox in the middle, which represents what I've just shown you, getting your shoebox ready. And then down the bottom, there's a picture of a tree and a climbing frame, because what we are going to start doing in nursery is getting your children ready for writing, beginning the process of formally learning to write. And one of the most important parts of that is really good gross motor strength in their arms. And if they have that, then they can start to work on the fine motor of their fingers. And that comes from building up your upper body strength. And two great ways to do that is climbing. So monkey bars, hopefully parks will be available. If not, trees or anything that involves them pulling themselves to build that upper body strength, as well as lots of gross motor play that you would do outside, like throwing, handstands, anything they're doing where they're actively using their whole body helps to build that strength. In the other top corner, you can see lots and lots of pictures of books. Like I said, reading is one of my favourite things, but it also is the most key learning skill, I think, in creating a confident, ready-to-learn learner is to read, to listen to stories and to experience them. And at Leaves and Green, we believe that hearing a story is reading. You might not be saying the words or decoding them, but you are taking in and understanding. So the more that children experience stories, for the wonder of stories, but also the language and the understanding, the better prepared they are to start that journey of formally learning to read. And down the bottom, we've got board games. Board games are a brilliant opportunity to introduce number in a friendly, fun way, and also to just develop the idea of turn taking. We're going to have a range of children joining our nursery, some from large families, some from small families, some from only children families, and they're going into a setting with other children. And some of our children, I'm sure, haven't been in a setting with this number of children at once. So one of the key parts of learning that we're going to develop is taking turns, and board games are a brilliant way to do that. The last little picture just represents any questions that you may have. So you might have questions, and also your children might have questions. They might want to ask you all sorts, and I would keep an open, positive dialogue about starting nursery. Anything they want to know that you know the answer to, I would explain to them, and they might ask you more than once about the same thing. That's just them reassuring themselves. And anything that you don't know, please say, oh, I don't know the answer to that, but I can find out. Let's ask Mrs Malone. And I will try and get back to you with any answers as soon as I can to reassure any worries the children might have. One last thing to get ready is to start thinking ahead to all the dates that we're sending you. So there is a first day of school when they will actually start in our nursery full time, but then we also have our school visit, which will involve you coming to see me and us just having some time with your child to get to know each other. And also then our open sessions, which is a chance for children to come in smaller groups and just stay and play and get to know their learning environment. So as you are sent these dates, if you've got a calendar, share them with your children or talk them through so they've got really prepared for what's coming their way in September. And nothing feels like it's just appeared to them. All through the summer, I would be giving the positive message of when you start nursery, just so that they feel really, really prepared. But also remember, keep it positive. We don't want them to feel worried. If they're struggling to do their buttons, there will be someone to help them. If they feel worried about where to put their water bottle, there will be someone there to help them. And that's what you need to keep reiterating, any worries they have, but you're going to have adults there that are going to help you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful and it's been lovely to meet you. And I am so excited to meet you all and to get to know you better as we move on to our learning year in Explorer class. Thank you so much.